Yeah, I'm Trish Groves. I'm Deputy Editor at the BMJ, the British Medical Journal, where I'm responsible for the publication of research. And I'm also Editor-in-Chief of a sister journal called BMJ Open.
Okay, thank you. Could you summarise in 2 to 3 minutes your talk?
Yeah, we've just been in a session today with 2 other editors talking about innovations in publishing research. So I was with David Tovey from the Cochrane Library and Ginny Barber from PLOS. So I was talking about BMJ Open and what's new there and what lessons we've learned. So the journal's been going for about 2 years. We've just published our 1000th manuscript. So it's about 900 papers, about 100 protocols. And the 2 things I talked about were fully open peer review, where everybody knows who has reviewed their paper, and they don't just know that because they can see the name on the report, but if their paper is published, then the peer reviewer's comments are posted next to the paper, the signed comments with competing interests and all that, and the submitted version of the paper, and the author's responses to the reviewers. Some of the Biomed Central journals do this, but certainly with BMJ Open, every paper has the reviews posted next to them. So I talked about that and how many editors and authors and reviewers are sceptical that this will work, but it does work. It doesn't slow down publication times, reviewers are up for it, and it does mean that they get credit for the reviews that they do. They're unsung heroes, peer reviewers, and this allows their work to be seen. It also, to some extent, makes them accountable for the recommendations they make as well. I also talked about data sharing, and at BMJ Open we're getting some way with getting authors to share their data. So we've published 34 data sets linked to BMJ Open papers, and they're in a linked repository called Dryad. And this is important, and we've heard a lot at Evidence Live about the need to find the underlying data for studies, and we're really pleased at BMJ Open that we've started working with authors in this way. Every article that we publish also has a data sharing statement saying whether the authors are prepared to share their data on request, or whether they're not. At least if there's a statement, then their intentions are clear, and they've had to think about data sharing.
Thank you. And do you hope that the other journals will follow suit?
Well, the BMJ certainly will, as soon as we fix various technical problems. We already have signed peer review, but not fully open, where you can see the reviewers' reports. And we have started data sharing. We have just 3 data sets linked to BMJ papers, but we'd like to do more of it.
And how about other journals outside the BMJ group? Is there any indication of other journals joining in?
Well, it would be great. I mean, many journals mandate deposition or sharing of data for laboratory type studies, but they have shied away from doing it for clinical studies for understandable reasons, because obviously there's a risk of anonymised data sets being re-identified, if you like, and patients' privacy being invaded. And that's an important issue, and many of us are working on getting over this problem. But meanwhile, we're pleased that authors have started sharing some anonymised data sets, and we hope that other journals will work with authors and repositories in this way. Yeah.
We heard from the Cochrane Collaboration that one of the difficulties with conducting individual patient data reviews was just getting access to the data. So this sounds like a good way of just facilitating that process.
Yeah, it's a start, but it'll be much bigger endeavours than what we're doing, such as the European Medicines Agency mandating open sharing of the regulatory trial data from next January, and that's going to make a huge difference for meta-analysts. But if journals can help too, well then great.